G'day folks, Tony again here for more Star Control 2. Well, after that extremely protracted conversation with the Slylandro, we have a few things that we can perhaps try getting on with. One of the things that they indicated to us was that there was a rainbow world at a nearby pair of blue stars. So let's have a look at the star map here. That looks like a pair of blue stars down the bottom. Pegasi, Alpha Pegasi and Beta Pegasi. I don't believe we've been to either of those yet. So let's swing on down in that direction. This is going to slightly alter our plans. We were going to start heading across the top here to start having a look at some various bits and pieces, but Rainbow World would be mighty handy. So let's go and have a look-see. Also, as we head down towards that part of the galaxy, we may be in the vicinity of the quasi-space portal, which is going to open on the 17th. I'm not quite sure how the timing's going to work out there. It is a reasonable distance, so let's wait and see what happens. Because if we are in that area around about that time, we might actually end up missing it by the looks of how the days are passing here. Because it would be nice to get in there and actually investigate what's going on. I think we're going to miss it this time around, so that's okay. We can wait until the next month. And in the meantime, we can just keep having a poke around this general vicinity. Lots of different plate spinning at the moment and many different things that we're attempting to do. And we can't do them all at the same time. How frustrating. But certainly, if we do find the location of a rainbow world, I believe that is going to be worth a considerable number of credits with the Melnorm, which is good because we are trying to hoover as much out of them as we can. We've already got all the hardware upgrades, but we're still getting intel from them, which is leading us to a variety of different story threads. Possibly too many story threads simultaneously, but that's as much on me as anything else. We have ourselves some blue bits and pieces here, which is nice. We haven't found many of them recently, and they're going to be worth a reasonable amount of credits for us. I'm sure. Ooh, Krypton, very nice. I'm sure that we're going to have no end of allied ships to buy at some point in the near future. So 4 moons around this large gas giant. I seem to be incapable of speaking clearly today, dear viewers. My apologies. Lots of red radioactives. That's good eating. Going to pick up all the things. So yes, we should, in theory, have a number of allied ships that we're going to be able to build in the reasonable near future, as we continue to do an excellent job of finally getting some other races on our side as we start heading towards the inevitable showdown with the big bad, or big bads, I should say, because there are two different lots of Ur-Quan, and I don't think either of them are particularly nice. Good times. All right, so what have we got here for our cargo? We just picked up a bunch of radioactives, which are second from the top there, worth $8 per unit, which is not as much as 25, but it's still pretty darn good. So let's keep investigating. If it is one of this pair of stars, there's just a bucket load of planets here to investigate in this one. So it could be a while before we actually manage to pin it down, but it will be worth it in the end. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pick up the colourful units. We're not really going to worry about the other ones because the grey ones aren't really going to be worth all that much. Not a lot happening here in terms of tectonics or weather or what have you. Something of a change from the norm. We've had a fair number of exciting, highly active planets that we've been on. While we've been collecting, by this point, more or less entirely biologicals. Cyanic world, that doesn't look particularly exciting. So it's a nice short scan for us. So that's planet 9. I believe 9 is the maximum number of planets that a solar system can have. So this is certainly keeping us plenty busy. None of these dots look rainbow colored, but then I would assume that they're not going to show up as such on the actual map itself. Because that would make them way too easy to spot from a distance. And I think they probably want to encourage players to get right in amongst it and actually get into orbit and check all of these things in a manual sense. Also, with the amount of pixel real estate for most of these planets, they're going to be mighty hard to... That would be mighty hard to show as a rainbow without it just looking like a dog's breakfast. So, good times. What have we got here? A Xenolithic world covered in... There's some precious metals there by the looks of it, and some biologicals as well. Goody, goody. Let's get to it. None of them moving particularly fast by the looks of it, which pleases me greatly. Although the bouncy balls do tend to be rather hard to hit. Where are you now? Oh, you changed direction. Of course you did. I swear I've hit that like 3 times and it hasn't done anything. Come back. Stop fleeing. Oh boy, these things are often grumpy. But I'm quite happy for them to be grumpy because they are easier to hit when they're charging right for you. So it's not all bad. Oh, look at that. Like a pro. Starting to get the hang of this now. He says too soon. Alright. None of these are taking up a ton of cargo space as well, so we should be able to get them more or less all done in the one pass, I'm hoping. If I can actually hit them. Oh no, we lost a couple of folk in that earthquake that seems to have bypassed our shield. What a drag. What have we got left? I think that's a gold dot. It is indeed. Some delicious platinum there for us. Nice, and just one more to go. That's going to be much easier to hit. Good times. So, material harvested. Let's see if the moon also has anything in store for us. And hopefully at some point we're going to find ourselves a rainbow world. That certainly doesn't look like one, but it does have some delicious goodies on it. They're going to be worth a moderate amount, so let's go and collect them too. Helium, interesting. More helium. It's interesting because in a real world sense, helium is, as far as I understand it, in a fairly finite supply, like a fairly noticeably limited finite supply here on planet Earth. Certainly just bucket loads of it floating around in other parts of the solar system with all the gas giants that we have floating around Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, as it were. I believe helium quite prolific on a number of those. And in a large supply too, with those planets being so ginormous compared to our own. But they're a fair way away. Not exactly easy to just duck on down to the corner store and get some of them. But I do believe that helium is rather useful for a number of different things. So with that wonderfully non-specific, unilluminating piece of waffle, consider yourselves further informed about whatever it is that I was talking about. All right. Case in point, the reason I was saying that in the first place was that I believe helium is actually in the common list, and indeed it is. So we're going to vent it all into space because there's a severe shortage of helium right here in this part of space, because it is, in fact, a void with nothing at all in it. So I've been helping it out by chucking all of that stuff that we don't really want right out there. Okay, this is a golden coloured planet. I'm hopeful that it's going to have some cool stuff on it. It's a treasure world. I am very happy. I like treasure worlds. Many things to pick up. Presumably no biologicals, and no indeed. But plenty of goodies. Plenty of goodies. So let's go around and grab all of them. Excellent. How many buckaroos is this going to be worth? A fair few, I would say. Certainly we're going to want to be bringing in more money as well, because now when we're restocking our crew, which we do alarmingly often, given the number of folk that we lose, the crew now costing 5 resource units per thingamajig, per crew, per thingamajig, compared to 3 when it began. Okay, we haven't been to that red one, or this. We'll go into this green one here before I forget it, and then we'll come back into that red one. All right, green planet, are you a rainbow world? Are we even in the right place? That doesn't look rainbow to me. That also doesn't look like it's worth landing on to me. Certainly not, if there's no life forms to pick up. To the bin with you, Planet 8. Okie dokie. All of this fine maneuvering of the dank. I feel like I'm slowly starting to get the hang of this compared to previous. That is also not a rainbow. That is a carbide world. Covered in things that we don't need. Farewell. So the majority of this game so far has really been an all-earthling affair. We did have some Pekunk vessels there early on. Oh, that reminds me that I think the Pekunk are on the move again. We should probably go and head them off. But for the most part here, we're cruising around in the dank, which, yes, is a precursor vessel, but is crewed by humans. Lots of goodies to pick up here. And we've also got a bunch of earthling cruisers. So we haven't really been... oh boy. We haven't really been representing the new Alliance of Free Stars in a very robust way so far. And I think we have a number of... good heavens. We have a number of species who are kind of, half, sort of, kind of, maybe, almost, eventually going to be allied with us, but still having trouble actually closing the deal with anyone yet. There are so many earthquake sound effects going off there that I think the emulator for this old sound card is starting to clip things, and it sounds a little bit icky. I'm glad I don't have this volume terribly loud in my headphones. Alright, that's that one sorted out. I think there's only one planet left here that we haven't been to yet, so let's find out if this is a rainbow world, or if we're going to have to go and check the other nearby blue star as well. That also does not look rainbow. Large deposits of stuff that we don't want. And some deposits of things that we do want. Let's go and shoot whatever these things are and pack them in the cargo hold. Ooh, worms. Delicious. Also worms? Oh no, some land jellyfish. These are all hopefully going to be these tend to be fairly easy to hit and fairly easy to collect, for which I'm very grateful. I get very frustrated with those fast-moving bastards. Alright. Oh, please don't tell me that these are going to be slightly more than one cargo hold full. I am really having trouble with my enunciation today. maybe just be able to make it if these are both of the same ilk. Same species, same specimens. Don't hit too close to that. I don't really want to pick up any of those cheapies. Okay, I think we should be okay here. Be able to get this last one. Come on now. Yeah, good times. We did it. All right, we will save the game. And we're going to go and investigate the other of these 2 stars. Hopefully it won't also have 9 planets in it. Because, oh boy, that took a while. And those Pekunk are not getting any slower, are they? All right. Beta Pegasi, what do you got for us? I'm going to run on to the assumption that that the names of these stars are based around constellations. Then the Pegasus system apparently has 2 stars in it. I'm not quite sure how you get yourself a Pegasus from only 2 stars. Some might refer to that as a line rather than a constellation. If you can see a Pegasus in 2 dots connected by a line, then I'm pretty sure you can see basically anything. Nothing, and also nothing. So if we look in the center here, when we get out of this zoom level, it did look like a slightly different looking planet there in the center. It looks almost like a brownie sort of looking thing. Brownie gold, and it is awfully close. So that does look a little different from usual. Or it could just be a gold planet with the lighting direction a bit weird with it being so close to the sun. Let's go and check out this pinky purple one first. What are you, Planet 2? Are you what I'm looking for? You are not. You are an attritic world though, so I'm going to pick up those green bits. Absolutely I am. So how are we going to go for our timing here? If we're going to have to go down and try and sort out those Pekunk, that's going to be a reasonable little trip. And if we're going to want to come back, are we going to be able to make it all the way back up here before the 17th of December? I don't rightly know. Possibly. See, if we're going to talk to the Arilu with that warp pod, I'm assuming they're going to give us quasi-space something or other, which also presumably is going to allow us to move around the galaxy a lot faster than mere hyperspace. And that does appeal to me a lot because we are going to start running out of time. And if we start running out of time, we're going to start running out of, gold. Not gold. We're going to start running out of races or species or what have you that we can recruit, because the Core are going to start rampaging and they're going to start wiping everyone out because they always win those engagements once they envelop people. And of course, if that starts happening, then we're going to start losing quest opportunities, which means we're going to reach a point where we can't complete the game, I assume, because we're not going to be able to get all the bits that we need to defeat the big bads. Maybe food for thought here. Might have to try and figure that out offline in between recordings so that we can start making some meaningful choices about where we're going and when and why and how and who and which and wherefore. So, goodness me, we've certainly got a good old bunch of gold there. How's that looking now for our manifest? We must be getting pretty full. We have 232 free, which is not that much considering how much we've already picked up. We have a good batch of biologicals there, so I'm feeling mighty happy about that. All right. Surely there's not going to be another motherlode planet like that one, am I right? Let's go to this grey one and find out. Grey certainly seems promising, doesn't it? Watch the game prove me wrong. Or not. Or not, apparently. Ha! Called it. Any biologicals here? No, there are not. So unless we done goofed and we have interpreted things wrong, in theory, we're going to have ourselves a nice little bonanza here. As we approach this planet, Beta Pegasi 1. What are you? Woohoo! That sure looks like a rainbow to me. Let's do ourselves a scan. Rainbow World, it says there right on the tin. It's got some radioactives there by the looks of it, so we'll definitely pick those up. And now that we have the location of it, whoa, good grief. I'm assuming we're going to be able to sell that information to the Melnorm. We certainly wouldn't want to land here without all the upgrades that we've got to our ship. So I'm going to pick all of these red ones up because they're going to be the expensive ones. Come on now. Well done. And one more. Ow, that hurt. Good times. Now, has that made us full? All the way full? Not quite. So we've still got a little bit that we could do here. Okay, we're going to save the game. It's now the 2nd of December. So let's take a look at the star map. We'll figure out how far away it is to get to the Arilos section there. It's not all that far away. I don't think it's going to be the 17th yet, but we do have this star over here that we can go to where presumably the Melnorm will be, and that's also fairly close by so that we can nip back across here and hopefully go through that portal in short order. So that's our plan. Let's see how it goes. And maybe, just maybe, somewhere along the way, we might actually end up running into a Slylandro probe. And we'll see if we have the opportunity to give it those self-destruct orders that we got earlier as part of that gigantic conversation. And my apologies for that as well, dear viewers. It went for way longer than I had anticipated. We might have our chance here right now. But yeah, it was an awfully long conversation tree. We come in peace. Ooh, there is a transmit to destruct sequence right there at the top. And another one that we can't read down the bottom. So let's give this a go and see what happens. Engaging self-annihilation circuit. And that worked, but we didn't get the resource units for it from the looks of it. Or maybe we did. I don't know. I can't remember how many resources we had. Something there told us that we had about 500 left or thereabouts. So here is a Melnorm. We're going to start moving towards them, but given how many resources we've got, and given how much conversation there's likely to be, and given what the recording clock is saying, that is all the time we have for this part of the Let's Play. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. You can subscribe to the channel if you'd like to be notified when other episodes are released. And please tell a friend if you think they might enjoy this. And come back again soon for more Star Control 2.